Hi, everyone. You're listening to Backstory. Let's hear it on WTBR-FM Pittsfield with Roberta McCulloch-Dews of the Mayor's Office in the city of Pittsfield. Thanks for tuning in. Today we have with us Laura Cabrera, a singer and community advocate for the Latinx community. And so I'm just going to give a brief background about Laura because to some, she might be familiar, but to others, she is someone that you want to know about. So in January, Laura, along with other members of Latinas 413, of which she is a co-founder, headlined Community Day at Mass Mocha. The event featured performances of traditional Mexican songs and an exhibit of the group's Yo Soy Arte project designed to amplify cultural inclusion and awareness through art. In addition to Latinas 413, she's also the co-founder of Amor a Nuestras Raíces, which means love to our roots, and Yo Soy Arte, I Am Art project. She's also a member of the Mehewi Performing Arts Center, Spanish Language Community Advisory Network, which works to bridge the Mehewi and Latinx community, inform programming, and communicate performing arts opportunities through trusted social networks. So she lives with her children, Liberty and Gael in Pittsfield. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for opening these spaces, not only for me, for my community.
Well, it's a pleasure. I was able to know about your story through a mutual friend, Karen.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And so I know that Karen she's a big, I want to say she's involved, I want to say, in many of the organizations that you're a part of. But I know Karen through the Rites of Passage and Empowerment Program, of which she was a member.
Oh, wow.
So she's still with us, but I know she actually moved.
Yes.
So even though she's with us, like in spirit, her physical presence is not here in the Berkshires. But I just want to thank Karen so much for the introduction because you are an awesome person. So I want to set the stage a little bit and just talk a little bit about your early years. Now, you are originally from Veracruz, Mexico.
Yes.
And you came to the United States at the age of 18, and you wanted a different life from the one you had in Mexico. So tell me a little bit about life in Mexico before you moved here, and how was it to leave your family behind?
Well, I grew up in this small town, we all support each other all the time, but I only have like two choices. I got married, I had to get married, have kids, or be by myself, and I feel like I need more opportunities for me. Since I was little, my grandmother used to, what's her name? Tell me things about you. When you grow, you're gonna be different. When you grow, you're gonna do something different, not like me or your mother. And my mother always say the same thing. But my mother always like, I want to go to school. But she always like, no, you don't need to go to school because you're gonna get married, you're gonna have kids. And that was like, I don't want this life. Like, I want to get educated and I want to be free because living there, it was like, what's the name? Not a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. I always felt that I didn't belong.
Even as a little kid?
Even as a little
so
kid.
So you knew that inside of you?
Yes. I was going to do something else. I was like always dreaming. My mother we used to go to the river and she used to wash our clothes. And I was always sitting down in the rocks of the river and dreaming about becoming a singer, dreaming about helping other people because my mother always teach me that. Since I was little, she always, what's the name? We used to go to the church and help all the time. So volunteer is all my life. I've been volunteer in Mexico and here, and I think she she didn't know, but at the same time she sent me these messages of you're gonna do something different.
Yeah. So you picked up from your mother and from your grandmother that there was a bigger life for you, but I can only imagine that at that age you couldn't see how that path would come to be because you're with your family and, what would the future look like?
Yes.
So, of course, you probably had these big dreams, but didn't really know how it would turn out.
Yes. And I didn't have introduction to music, professional. It was always in the church. I used to sing in the church and sing with more kids.
Okay.
And I wasn't too scared because it was more kids, my voice, nobody hears my voice. But I think since I was little, I started singing. So that wasn't a big part of my life, music. So, yeah.
So you made the decision at 18. So you go through school, you make the decision at 18, I'm going to leave Mexico.
Yes.
Was that hard for you? I mean, you have your dreams, you have your passion, but you're leaving your family.
I was leaving my mother. The most important thing for me was my mother, my sisters and brothers. But I have one sister that she was adopted from my mother, and she was growing with me. I was kind of her mother, and I leave her. I was 16 years old when I decided to come here.
Okay.
And but it was difficult to leave my family behind. But at the same time, I have the hope, the new life, better life, it was waiting for me.
So you believe that when you made that decision that there was going to be promise and opportunity on the other side.
Yes.
All right. So I want to know, with all that in your heart, in your mind, how did you end up in the Berkshires?
Well, my ex-husband, he moved here, and he said, you should come here and move with me and start a new life. And that's why I moved here.
Okay. All right. So was he also in Mexico? And so he said, let's go together.
Yes. He moved, we started living together when we were 17 years old, very young. Very young. So he came first, and then I came after.
Okay. And what did you think about the Berkshires when you got here?
Oh my God. It was it was intimidating.
Yeah.
I felt like a little girl. I had to learn everything, the language, the new system, but I was struggling so much. But I always use my struggles to empower myself. So I started looking for English class at MCLA.
Okay.
And I used to go to English class for 3 years. And then I stopped going because I was pregnant. So I had my son. Yeah. And he was, I was very young, 21 years old.
Okay.
I think I felt that I become woman here.
Yeah.
And I have so many great mentors here in the Berkshires who teach me, who give me so many of their wisdom. And I feel that's why I am in Latinas 413. That's why I'm doing Yo Soy Arte, because I want to give all this back to people, all what I receive.
So when that network that you speak about, how did you tap into it? Because, set the scene for me. You're new to the area. Was it a matter of someone reaching out to you and saying you need to contact so-and-so? How did that work? Because you don't know anyone.
Yes.
So where did the people come from?
Well, I used to live in Norte Adams, and I was like depressed. I went to depression, and I had to take therapy, and because I was by myself, 21 years old, and I see myself back on those days. Oh my God, I was a little girl, 21, and I had my son. I was insulated. I missed my mom, my friends, but like I say, all these struggles helped me to look for help. And then I used to came to the church in Pittsfield, and that's how everything started, growing a little by a little, my community, meeting friends, And
Okay.
but it was very small.
Very
that time,
small.
Our community.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once you were a part of this community, was it like you felt like you had an adopted family?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. With the time, I think right now I have two amazing friends that they become my sisters. Our kids grow together. Yeah. So for me, that's my family. My kids are my family.
Yeah.
Berkshires is what I know. It's the place where I feel like I can enjoy many things: hiking, music, food. So I.
Okay, you mentioned hiking. Apparently, that is a recurring theme for a lot of people who move to the area. They love hiking. Now, I got to ask, in Mexico, do they hike? Do people hike?
We had to walk.
Okay.
Because we don't have, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
I remember when I was little, I used to walk with my mother to go see my grandmother. So we used to walk 3 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours?
3 hours, yes.
One way or both? Or?
One way, just one way. So for me, it was like, oh, I had to walk. But at the same time, I was like, I had to see my grandmother, right? We used to go once a year.
Wow.
Because it was, So I think I have the hiking thing since I was little. So here I connect with myself, with this little girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like hiking too. I have to say, when I'm in the woods, it actually feels refreshing. You almost feel like you're by yourself, even though you know that there are people all around you. There's a feeling of you can hear your thoughts. You can just revitalize. It's a very refreshing thing. And so I can definitely understand why you would translate your love of walking to hiking here. So I just want to, knowing that now that you have this adopted family, these people who love you, who make sure that you're connected to different things, you have this network, and you obviously have retained your passion for Mexican music, Mexican art, and Mexican culture. As a little girl, was that something that was ingrained in you, love of culture, all of that? Was that something that they talked about in Mexico?
Not really.
No. Okay.
But it was more about listening music because we have our houses are very close, so we can hear different music. So I was going through salsa, then different traditional Mexican music. So that's why I think it's all that music, all that combination that my neighbors have.
Yeah.
I used to listen music with a band that they have. My friends, they have a music band, and I used to watch them and just dreaming about, maybe someday I can play guitar. So but it's too expensive to buy a guitar. It's too expensive. Yeah, the music class, and on that time it's. The most important thing, it was food. To have food, to have what's the name, clothes.
Right.
And yes, I used to have one pair of shoes for a year. Yes. When I was little. And I had to take care of them because my mother used to get mad. Yeah.
I mean, that is so significant because it just that appreciation for when you're able to have more than one, then you can look back and you can say, I remember when. And I think for those of us who have those reflections of when maybe life didn't give us everything, right? Yes. that we think we should have or that we want. When we look back at those days, it gives us a deep appreciation for what we have now. We are thankful because we know that there were days when things were not the way that they are now. So I can only imagine that you have that. But you brought that deep appreciation for music. You brought that with you, and it never left you, even as you were going through your journey of discovering yourself here in the United States, building your network. You always kept that passion for singing. And you have you done it? Did you come out like as a professional singer, or did you say, I'm going to just sing on the side?
No, I start in my kitchen with my daughter.
Okay.
Because I want to teach her Spanish, but I want to teach her our traditional Mexican music, and I also want to connect her with music. So it was three things, but she's having hard time with the pronunciation, but she's like la 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 la, so she starts singing with me. So I start playing ukulele by myself because I didn't have any information about music class.
Okay.
And I was always looking for someone from my community who plays ukulele. Nobody plays ukulele in my community. and I start like that. And then when Latinas 413 starts, I decide to take a professional music class with everything. It was in Zoom on that time. So I look online for a singing class, and I started learning with what's the name, teacher, and he used to live in Argentina.
Okay.
So yeah. And
yeah, I think I did read something about that you would do, like you would have your music lessons with this teacher by Zoom.
Yes.
Huh, interesting. Wow. And so that's an interesting story right there, how you connected with a music teacher who lives in Argentina. And yeah, that's a whole story right there. But obviously this teacher was able to really help you and guide you toward where you want to be.
Yes.
Okay, so you have the classes that are going on, but you're also performing through Berkshire County, right?
Yes.
You performed at the Beckett Arts Center, and I believe you also performed at the Barn in Sheffield.
I was the one, not sure if Latin women before performed there, but my friends, they always like, come on, you can go. And I was, no, I'm so scared. I was shaking the first time. Yeah, I was shaking. But I think something in me is like when I'm scared, I do it more. I force myself to do things.
There's like an energy that I feel when you're scared about something. It makes you work even harder because you have to work to go beyond the fear. So when you were performing, what did you do? Did you say, I'm just going to concentrate and I'm going to sing? I'm going to look at people? Did you say, I'm going to pretend like they're not there? What was what was like your secret sauce for getting through your performance?
This is funny because my daughter is who gave me the advices.
Oh.
Yeah, she's born here. She's introduced to music since she was little. Yeah. So she said, Mom, pretend it's nobody there.
Yes.
Just pretend you are by yourself.
Yes.
And I said, okay. But even like that, it doesn't help us sometimes.
Because you're like, I can still see their faces.
Yeah. And singing in the language of my heart, it was a challenge for me because I was like, maybe if they don't like the way I'm singing because I'm singing in Spanish, right? But that's how I start. But
so what did they say after you performed?
They used to say, yeah, you did a great job. Yeah, and all are my friends.
Okay, all right. And so Liberty, she has performed with you on occasion. Does she want to be a singer like you as well?
Yes, every morning she started singing and recording herself.
Oh.
10,000 times.
Okay.
Yeah, and she plays violin.
Okay.
Yeah, she loves music. But I don't want to force her to do something.
Yeah.
That's why every time that she feels like I want that she feels free.
Yes.
And that's why I feel happy that my daughter is gonna have different history than me because she's gonna have more freedom to be herself.
Yes.
And share her her art.
Yeah, you're right. Because she's growing up in a different setting where she sees that, okay, these are the opportunities I have before me, and she's able to like map out her plan. So she's like, well, I like music. She's able to play her violin. She's able to do these things. And so there, you're right. There are so many opportunities, and I totally agree when young people are able to just discover their passion on their own, they'll stick with it. Like, it doesn't, like, the parents don't have to say, okay, you keep doing that, because they'll tell you. They say either I like it or I don't.
Yeah.
So I think having that freedom is really essential to them discovering their passion. Well, I think that there's so much to be said about your singing, and we're going to get into a special performance that you had, but I just want to let listeners know who are just tuning in today that my guest is Laura Cabrera, and she is a local singer and community advocate for the Latinx community. So right now we're just talking a little bit about how she has maintained her connection to Mexican music, art, and culture. But in addition to her performing, Laura, she really is passionate about being a voice for the Latinx community. And I want to, you're amazing, because you're involved in so many groups. So I'm going to start with the first group, and that is Amor a Nuestras Raíces. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
Okay. And it's a Hispanic artist collective. So I need you to tell me a little bit. You're an artist. You're part of this network. How did this group come to be? Why did you decide to establish it?
That group, it was before Latinas 413. Some of the members of Latinas 413, we got together and we did this group. Disappeared a couple years ago because we all talk like different ways. But I was born and just to share our culture and about how we can contribute here. And we are more than what's the name? In that time, I was undocumented.
Okay.
So I'm more than that. I can sing. I can give positive things to the community, right? And that's why we create this group, and we want to share. At the first time that I started singing, it was with them. Yeah.
You just said something really really significant, and you mentioned the undocumented part. How, if you don't mind me asking, how did it feel to you're in a new environment, you have your beautiful children, you're navigating all that comes with a new space, and having that feeling of knowing that aspect of your life is still not finalized? How did it feel for you?
I don't know. It used to feel like always encouraged. Like I had to do something different because I am not only undocumented. I can give many positive things to this community. So that was always my message. Yeah.
So you wanted to, when you connected, when Amor a Nuestras Raíces came together, was it a space for other people to share their stories and things that they were going through?
No, at that time it was like just music.
We
shared music and we shared poems.
Okay, yes. Poems. So it was like it was just an artist space. So people were able to be free and to do their poetry, their art, which is important because we need an outlet. Even as adults, we need a creative outlet where we're not just thinking about like our 9-to-5s and just working, but where we can have that expression. So that's a really great thing. Well, from Amor a Nuestras Raíces came Latinas 413.
Yes.
Now, Latinas 413 really is that is the group that is just growing by leaps and bounds. Like everyone, I think if you haven't heard about Latinas 413, you will, because this is the group to watch, because it is comprised of dynamic women, dynamic individuals. And Laura, I want you to tell me a little bit about what this network means for the Latinx community.
Well, our mission is empower Latinas to empower their social and economic presentation of voices. And we have we have so many dreams. When we started Latinas 413, we used to get together before we have meetings or just parties, and then we share eventually we want to help our community. We always say we want to help.
Okay.
We want to share. We want to grow. We want to many things. And then Liliana Atanasio, our co-president of Latinas 413. She asked me to share something on Facebook, and everybody was sharing. And for one reason or another, we have a meeting, and it was, I think, 20, 30 women in Zoom. I was in Boston at that time, and I was blown mind. I was like, where all these women are, right? And I think we need that. We were asking for this connection.
Yes.
And it's how everything starts.
So you almost had to put out the call, and when you did, you're like, okay,
yes,
they're out there.
Yes.
And so Latinas 413, if I understand correctly, it's sort of like it's a connector. It connects the women throughout Berkshire County. So you don't have to just be in Pittsfield or South County or North County. It's for everyone.
Yes.
So how do people, like right now, what is, are everyone, do you guys still meet on Zoom, or how do you meet? Is there a meeting space that the members go?
Well, we have our board meeting. We have board meeting every once a month right now, and we are doing hikings. America Lopez, she's doing hiking. Carmen and Daisy Escobar, they are part of the mentorship. I am in art and music, and Catherine and Tanya are finance. So we try to do. Maybe focus in one thing, because we used to focus on many things. We want to do everything. Yeah. And right now, I think we are focusing one thing.
Okay.
Yes. So.
All right. So what's the focus right now? What's that one thing?
We're gonna start. What's the name? Hiking.
Oh, hiking. Okay.
We do hikings once a month.
Okay.
And we did this performing at Masmoka.
Okay.
And we're going to start with a group of reading. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about how that Masmoka event, because this was in January, and Masmoka always has like a community day. And the feature performer and headliner for this community day was no one other than yourself and Latinas 413. And there was even an exhibit, the Yo Soy Arte exhibit. So we want to get into all of that. So tell me, how did this come to be?
Oh my God, it was a big process. It was, I think, 7 months.
Wow.
That I shared with Fernando Leon, who he's the one who helped me to create what we want to do. So we start recording a video on Mahewi in Great Barrington, and we record a video. My daughter was there, but I think seeing my daughter so comfortable in the stage, I want to all the kids in my community feel that way, welcome, that they belong. And so we record that video with our own money. Everybody put Vladimir, who is the one who made the video, and I asked 2 photographers of our community, Constanza and Leticia, and everybody came together. And that was for me, it was very, what's the name, my heart, it was full. I said, this is what I want, that people come together, or community comes together. And we record that video, we make these pictures, we talked, well, this is a long story, but I work for Center of Peace Through Culture at the same time we start Latinas 413, and I was ambassador of the connecting the community with museums. Okay. So they used to give me tickets for free for the community, and I was tired on that time and delivering all the tickets because I think I know I feel like I know my community and I want to give the ticket in their hand and say like, you welcome, like I'm gonna be there,
right?
I'm gonna be there. And
was there any hesitancy about people going to certain places, because you mentioned some key words like belonging and feeling welcome, and did they feel like they were not welcome?
Not maybe. Yes, sometimes we feel like we're not welcome, or we feel like this is not space for us. And like I said, that's why that was my goal, to bring more people to different museums, Norman Rockwell, Tanglewood, Masmoka, and I was impressed sometimes because many people with kids, parents, uncles, grandfathers, they used to go, and for me it was beautiful to see them there. It doesn't matter how hard it was. I was working, making posts. That was technology. It was difficult for me, and I started studying Google marketing, introduction to marketing.
Wait, you did all of this? Was this to promote the community day? Was this before the community day got together?
Before.
So before.
Yeah, I've been working for.
Yes. Okay, so you basically turned into like a one-woman marketing PR machine.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I have to say, full disclosure, before we even started this interview, Laura said, I need to take a video. I said, okay. She's the first guest that said, I want to take a video. So this confirms everything. She indeed is a one-woman marketing phenomenon. All right. So you're doing all this marketing. You're building trust. You're building the relationships. So then Mass Mocha says, okay, like, we want you to come in January. Like, what did they do?
I spoke with Trudy Manion. She's part of Center of Picture Culture. And I told her, like, I have this dream, like, doing this performing pictures. And then we got together with Fernando. We started talking. We have meetings. We have to go there, blah, blah, everywhere. And she said, I'm going to connect you. And I met Laura Thumbs Up before in one was an exhibition. So Trudy Manion, she connect us with her, and then we talk about our project. And I was so great. I'm so grateful with her because she never asked me like, you have to show me one video of you singing, or you have to show me your project. She believed.
She trusted you.
She trusts us, our project, and she say yes. And you can perform. I didn't ask for performing, and she said, you can perform your music, your traditional Mexican music. I was like,
did you expect her to say that?
No, I was driving to Charan, I think, with my kids, and I was crying, and I said, I can't believe this is happening. It was. I was so impressed. I'm so grateful with her that she opened this space for us, and she gave us all the support. She was there the day before when we have to decorate everything. I asked everybody, like my friend, can you decorate the stage with flowers, because that was my dream. So.
Now, to your knowledge, has there been another singer who has performed traditional Mexican music at the museum? Are you the first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. That's a big deal.
And I wasn't scared. I'm so scared to performing.
Yeah.
But that day, I felt something special. Like everything come together. I was tired because I've been working, like we worked in this project for 6 months with Fernando and the photographers and the Vladimir who made the video.
Yeah.
I was very tired, but I don't know, when you have this passion for what you're doing, it doesn't feel.
Yeah, because that, when you're passionate about something, it doesn't, it's work, but it doesn't feel like work because you're tapping into something deep within that you feel such a strong connection to that you're like, well, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
And you work hard to make sure you do it right. So of course you're gonna use that energy somehow. But if you're going to do something and you're going to be passionate about it, you want to make sure it's excellent. And I saw the pictures, and I mean, it looked like it was a wonderful day. I saw you on stage, and then you had the musicians behind you.
Yes.
Yes.
From Guatemala. One of them, her name is Lorenzo. He's from Guatemala. Tarcisio, he's from Brazil. David, he's from Puerto Rico. So I have multicultural musicians. I was, Right.
So was it something that, so was the audience big? Did you have a big audience? And how did it feel to be performing in this venue for the very first time as the very first singer singing traditional Mexican music? How did it feel on that day as you're singing and you're looking out?
We had three performances. One, it was at 12:30. It was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And when I talk, I get a little bit nervous. But when I start singing, I feel like my voice is sustaining me.
Okay.
And it makes me feel confident. It makes me feel like, I think when you do something with your heart, with good intentions, everything comes back to you. So sharing my voice, my tradition music, sharing my culture with kids. We have so many kids. It was one of the kids that she has almost my same color of clothes. And I was like, she wants to take a picture with me and I want to take a picture with her. So after or performing, I get out the stage and then I start talking with people, sharing my story. And it was great. I felt it was so meaningful for me. So
for the children, I'm always big on representation matters. I feel that it's important for people to see themselves in roles and different things, because I feel like when you see yourself, you too can say, I can do that. And it gives that encouragement, it gives that hope for the children, especially children of within the Latinx community. What do you think is the impact to see someone who is so connected to her culture to say, yes, I am I might be living in another country, but I still love where I come from? Why do you think that that's important for them to see and understand?
I feel like I'm gonna speak like my what's the name, with my daughter. She is always very proud of wearing the traditional Mexican dresses, because she's growing like that with me, close to me, because kids don't do what you say. Kids do what you are doing. That's right. That's why I think in my daughter, and I want to send these messages to the kids, not saying like you have to do this or blah blah blah. It's just, I'm gonna wear this dress because that dress, it was Tehuana dress, made by hand with artists from Oaxaca. So yes, just that, sending these messages like I'm here. And also sending that day for me was very important to send many women from my community. I'm here. You can be here. Anybody can be here. Right. So empowerment. Empowerment. Yes.
Yeah. And you're right. Kids don't do what we say. They do what we do. And they look at us and they'll say, they'll pick up those messages. You're absolutely right. I have, my daughter is, she'll be 12. Be 12 this year. And it's all in the behavior and the things that we gravitate to and we love. They too develop a same love of that. And I think for children, especially like children within the Latinx community, it's important for them to see that this is a big part, regardless of where your country, your history, your background's from, you can love that too.
Yes.
And you can love the place where you live now. You can love both.
Yes.
And be proud of it.
And I'm not sure if how this works, but I feel like when they see somebody that looks like them, they feel like more comfortable, more belonging, more.
Of course, because it's. I think that's a part of us as human beings, and that's natural, and it's okay to want to see people who are just like you, because that strengthens you and it lets you know I'm not alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So for my listeners who are just tuning in, my guest today is Laura Cabrera. She is a local singer and community advocate within the Latinx community. And so we're just talking a little bit about Laura's work as a performer, as well as her work as a community advocate and the groups that she has founded. One of the groups that include Yo Soy Arte, which is a project, but it was also an exhibit at Mesmoco. So tell me how this works. Tell me what Yo Soy Arte actually looks like.
Well, that day we present performing of traditional Mexican song and exhibition. The local initiative by Latin artists and activities to promote the cultural inclusion and awareness through art, photography, video, and that was open these spaces for our local artists.
Okay, so
Specific.
so then walk me through it. So like I went to like community day, and what would I see when I look at the Yo Soy Arte exhibit? Would I just see people talking to one another? Was there something like art on the wall? How did it look?
Okay. We start with the video. So Vladimir, it was who recorded this video, and me and my daughter, and I was singing a very traditional song. The name is La Llorona. So we record this video, like I say, in Mahewi, and then after that, it was pictures of me and my daughter, and I was wearing my traditional dress I'm from Veracruz. We call that jarocha. I was jarocha. And then you can see different pictures. And after that, people have shares around. So we start performing the music, 4 or 5 songs of music, very traditional, because that songs, I grew up with those songs.
Okay.
Yes.
I think you're right. That deep connection to your culture. You're so right about finding ways to maintain it and to keep it going. Because I definitely understand that. Like for me, as an immigrant myself, and as someone who I came to this country when I was 2. What I have found is that, I have a longing for my culture that I grew up in, and, I find that as, my family gets older, I have to think about how am I going to preserve this? Yes. How am I going to make sure that my children who, were born here, how do I make sure that they have something to carry on to their children? I just don't want that part of me to go away, when they get older and they live their lives. So it's absolutely important that that we find ways to keep that culture alive. And you are doing it. So when I think about Yo Soy Arte, is this a one-woman project, or are there more people who are part of just,
More people. So, yeah, I used to start because, sometimes somebody has to go first.
That's true.
And I was so scared, I had to be honest. But eventually, I wanted this group of more women join us, and more local artists, and we made more projects together with Latinas 413.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to be, like I say, I opened this, but everybody is welcome to keep going.
To keep going.
I just opened this, but next year I'm going on vacation.
Well, listen, you're doing all this work. You need to have some time to relax because, you need an outlet. But, in addition to all of the things that you're doing, last year, you also participated in the Rites of Passage 2020 Vision project at the Whitney Center. And so this project, for people who may not know, it was like a living performance, and it was held over a span of several days in the center. And each room in the Whitney depicted a scene of life with women of color. So you participated in this project. Why was it important for you to be a part of it?
Well, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Julia called me and she said, I want someone who is Latin, who cooks and cook guacamole or cook whatever you want. She let me be whatever I want to be. So she invited me to be part of the Soul Kitchen. I have no idea how to perform. I don't know, have no idea. So I just talk something that we call, it's made by volcano rock.
Yeah.
And we make salsa and we made molcajete, we call.
Okay.
And I started making guacamole.
Oh.
But it was 3 women of color, amazing artists. And when I got it, I was like, a little bit intimidated.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. It was just like, because I never shared with more women of color.
Yeah.
And I was like something new. And I was like, what's the name? Shine.
Yeah,
and,
Shine.
And then after that, we start the day 2.
Yeah.
We start sharing our personal histories, and we talk about our kids. And one of them, she had a little girl, and I felt like they opened their arms like if I was their sister.
Yeah.
And that project is in my heart, and I always post pictures because I want to have that memory forever.
Yeah. And
to see many empowered artists, because I didn't know, sometimes I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm artist, and I didn't know for a long time, and I don't know how to express that part of me, because I always shame of that part of me.
Why?
Because I don't know, because it was like in my culture, I think where I grew up, you have to do the things that you have to go to school, you have to do this, everything like everybody's doing.
Okay.
So, but I wasn't like that. I was dreaming all the time with music, with art, with things like that. So seeing many women that they had the similar things, it was like, these are my people. This is my people. Yeah. And in one, I asked Puya what I have to do, and she said, just be yourself.
Yes.
Just be yourself. Allowed to be yourself. And that was a powerful message for me. And I talked to my daughter, because she was with her grandmother. But I said, can you bring me liberty? Because I want that she doesn't miss this amazing performance, amazing experience that it was for me. So, I have many words for that project, but it's beautiful. It was beautiful.
So there's a video on your page, and it's like, they're weaving something.
Yes.
But, okay, who was weaving? Right. It's like I saw 2 individuals, and their back is facing, they're weaving, and then there's like, is it a little girl maybe?
It's my daughter.
That's your daughter?
My daughter.
Okay, yes. Was that you weaving?
No,
okay.
It was somebody else.
Okay,
but since that day, my daughter, she wants weaving. So she wants to go to school for that. So she wants to do everything. She wants to paint it, she wants to sing it, she wants to...
Now she wants to weave. That's all right. But so that was, okay, so tell me about that video, because it looked like something really big. I don't know what, it was huge.
Oh my God, I totally forgot the meaning, but it was beautiful meaning. I had to look online again, because I was taught in the kitchen soul, and I used to go visit her to see how she was weaving, but it was impressed. It was impressed.
It was great. And is this like, was that like a traditional form of weaving in a certain country? I wasn't sure about that.
That reminds me, Oaxaca. Oaxaca, they have many women who do this kind of art. And I think she went to Oaxaca to learn, or Guatemala, not sure. But she went there to learn how to weave.
It was gorgeous.
Yes.
Okay, so that was, you've done Rites of Passage 2020. Now you've done Mass Mocha. Now you have bragging rights, and you can say, yes, I am the first Mexican singer to perform at Mass Mocha, and it won't be the last. But tell us, what do you have coming up? Are there things that you want us to know about? Any events or collaborations that you're excited that's going to happen in 2022?
Well, I'm taking a break right now, spending time with my kids, and just focus on them and getting more education too. I am taking class at MCLA.
Okay.
And after this, I think the same. I want to keep helping my family, creating, supporting more new artists, and so.
Okay, you mentioned classes at MCLA. Are you studying anything in particular? What do you want to do? Because you have your passion as a singer.
Yes.
But I guess you also have maybe a passion to keep going from the educational standpoint. So what do you want to focus on?
I think I like psychology.
Okay.
Yes. I like to, yes.
Okay, yeah. Psychology is big. It's important to know, the inner workings and what makes people tick and all of that. And so, yeah, okay.
But I want to mix it with music.
I was going to say, you could be the singing psychologist.
Yes. I like working with kids. Since I came here, I've been working with kids.
Okay.
Yes. So.
Really? Okay. So, where do you work with kids?
I used to go be babysitting.
Okay.
That's why I knew Mass Mocha, because the family where I used to work, they gave me their car, can you take the baby to the museum? So I was babysitting for 4 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, kids. Gotta love them.
But they introduced me to Mass Mocha.
Okay.
Too, so.
Well, see, you just named something right there. The network.
Yes.
And that is how a lot of things come to be. I think while we have our talents and our skills and all these good things, it's when we tap into a network. And who would have thought that because of your relationship and your connection with those children and their families, that you would then have this other connection?
Yes.
Right? So it goes to show that you never know. You never know. Never underestimate any connection, because you never know what the future will look like. Well, you're taking a break right now, and obviously you've done a lot of good work. You have been busy. But what inspires you? What or who inspires you to keep going when you're doing all of this?
Okay. My children, my mother, my community, my own struggles, because when I came here, I struggled so much that I didn't have information about food, about work, about education. So that's inspiring me. The many women maybe make their lives a little bit more easier than I was mine.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. All right. And if you had to choose one word to describe yourself, what would that be?
Hope.
Okay. Why?
Hope. Because I always have hope in everything what I do. And I feel the hopes that I have in my life is because I do everything with my heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. It's important to have hope. Hope keeps us going. And I just want to thank you, Laura, because you are an inspiration. You have done so much. And like I said earlier, representation matters. And there are people looking at you saying, look, Laura did it, so can I. So I just want to thank you for being an inspiration to so many. And I hope that you get some well-deserved rest.
Thank you.
And whatever your future endeavors for 2022, I just hope that it brings you all that you want and all that you deserve, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome, Laura. All right, everyone, you've been listening to Backstory. Let's hear it on WTBR-FM Pittsfield with Roberta McCulloch-Dews of the Mayor's Office in the city of Pittsfield. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and have a great day.